What's up, you guys? All right, well, red day recap down 16,000, 22,000 in the red on Netflix and green on the small caps. Not a great day. I'm frustrated myself. I got caught in the short squeeze on Netflix. I took a short position early and it just started ripping against me, and I kind of did everything you're not supposed to do, which is I was adding as it was going higher and then finally threw in the towel as it spiked through the highs, and just a bad trade. So I'll break it down during the recap. It's red day recap, which hopefully you guys enjoy, just from the perspective that sometimes the red days are more helpful to learn from than the green days, because on the green days it's like everything works, so I mean, those are helpful and cool to watch, but it's the red days that kind of show, all right, well, these were where mistakes were made. This is where, going back, I would have maybe wish I had done things differently. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So we'll talk quite a bit about the Netflix trade. We'll also talk about some of the open swing trades I have on Amazon and Apple. Netflix wasn't a swing trade I did have a swing trade that I lost on, but then that kind of triggered me to take a day trade on it, which is actually really similar to what I did on Amazon or on Tesla. And I don't know if that's a good idea to be kind of day trading stocks. I'm also swing trading, because it's like I'm coming in knowing I'm red on a swing trade, so I'm trying to kind of make up for it with a green day trade, and it's like, I don't know, it's maybe not a good idea. So I have to be more mindful of that. But anyways, we'll break it down during the recap. I hope you guys enjoy it. About $6,000 trading small caps, $22,000 in the red on large cap Netflix, and then some profits across the board on my swing trades, with Amazon actually being the best as it's moving up today. So that's what we're gonna do today. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, Thursday, for hopefully a strong gap scan and pre-market watch list. All right, you guys, so we're going to do our midday market recap, and the kind of topic today is going to be on this Netflix trade that I took. There's some day trades that I took, which were fine. Nothing super exciting to sort of call out there. They were just sort of average trades. I'm down 16,000 on the day, $22,000 loss on Netflix. This is going to be one of the, probably top 20 biggest losses I've ever had. I mean, it's not that often that I have a loss that exceeds $20,000. If I can look into my reports view in trader view and sort from winner to loser. So, actually, oh no, that's okay. So let's see. I have one this month that is bigger than that. So these are my biggest losses. And this is actually my whole career. Well, this is not my whole career, but this is since January 1st, 2017. So in the last 3 years. So this is the fifth loss I've had of more than 20,000. And the other ones they've all been this year. Now, they've all been this year in part because this year I've really stepped up to the plate. I've obviously been trading really well this year, and because I've been trading well, I've been increasing my risk and going a little outside my comfort zone, and the result is $3 million in profit. So to lose 20 grand on a trade is not really a big deal on the one hand, but on the other hand, it is a bit discouraging, and it's certainly not what I was going for. So hang on one second. I just want to do one thing real quick. All right. So yeah, there we go. Okay. So on Netflix, I'd had a pretty good morning. I was up 6,500. But I've been holding Netflix as a swing trade. So, this is where, kind of gets into this issue. These are my swing trades right now. I've got some open P&L. I've got some closed P&L. Today has not been the best day. So on Netflix, if I drop down this one, I have the 465 puts, which are now at 21 cents. So I'm in really good shape on those. But I had my 520 by 535 calls today that I got stopped out on. I had set a stop on them, and so that stopped me out for a credit or a debit of $1, and I had taken the position for a credit of like $1.50. So it actually stopped me out for like a $500 winner, although it was red on the day because Netflix, at the open ripped up. So that trade stopped me out in this area. And as I was looking at it, I was looking at this daily resistance level at 510, and I thought, I think it might fade off this level. So I went ahead and sold the 550 by 555 call spread against as it squeezed into this level. And as it broke 510 and squeezed up to 520, 524, I stopped out of that with an $800 loss. And that was the point that I was kind of really focusing on the trade. I had initiated a swing trade essentially early in the day, which I knew was risky, but I thought it was going to roll over, and it ended up not rolling over. And so I was holding that swing trade, getting squeezed out. And as it was going up here, I was like, man, I don't want to bail on the swing trade down. I was down like $100 and then 150 and then 200. And I was like, I don't want to bail on it in a green candle as this is squeezing up. I need to wait for a reversal. And as it was getting higher and higher, I started thinking, this actually looks like it's going to reverse. It, to me, looked like it was due for a pullback, for a reversal. And so right here at the very top, I got short over 518. I got short 2,000 shares and then added as it dropped down. So I had a 4,000 share position as it dropped down here. And it actually dropped from 518 all the way down to 516.72. I was up over $4,000. And I was like, nice. You timed the reversal to the penny. Did you take a big position on it? Yes, but it takes money to make money, and I liked this setup. I thought after 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green candles in a row, this was in good shape. So it dipped down and then popped right back up over 517. And I was like, this isn't great. Because here's the problem. There's kind of a big spread right now. And I don't think I'm going to, if I try to hit the bid on the 4,000 shares or hit the ask to cover, I'm going to get slippage. So I was like, I'm going to give it a second to kind of drop back down. And this is where things started to become a problem. Because I was like, I was just up $4,000. I don't want to, I want to have that in my pocket. And then here it goes up to 18, and I'm like, uh-oh. So right in here, I go back to break even. I was actually red when it broke over 518. So now I'm red, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Okay, sometimes what we'll see is a quick break through the high like this, and then, it rejects. Because it's so extended, it's just kind of like a final squeeze, and then it rolls over. So we got that kind of final squeeze right there. It rolled over. But in this case, up here, it pulls back, and then it goes here up to 518 to 519. And so just like that, I'm down $4,000. And I was like, well, so this is where I started just kind of staring at it. And what's really interesting is I don't do this when I'm red on a long position. When I'm red on a long position, I just cut the loss. I just let it go. I don't know. I just don't. I don't just sit and stare at it. But here, it ends up breaking and going up to 518, 519, 520, and right through here, I went with 4,000 shares down 4,000, 8,000, 12,000, and I was just sort of like, this is crazy. So I ended up adding another 1,000 shares at 520. Thinking, all right, well, that's a top up here. Let's see. And it brought my average to like 518 something, 518.70 or something like that. So it taps right here, 20, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is starting to pull back. Okay. And then I was like, God dang it. Through 520.40. And again, I'm just sitting here kind of staring at it. Now, initially, I think if I had gotten in and it just kept ripping right away, I would have covered the loss really fast. I think the problem on this was that I was up $4,000 and then, went to break even and then went to red $4,000. And all of a sudden was like, I just had profit. It's gone. I want to get it back. And was stubborn and didn't want to just give in to this squeeze. I was just right, then I was wrong, and I didn't want to, accept that defeat. So it keeps going a little bit higher here. And I stopped out, so it hit a high there of 22, and I was like, okay, finally, a red candle. This looks like now we're getting like a good little pullback. Okay. Now I think I'm going to be okay. So at this moment I was down 17,000, but it dropped down. So I was down from 22 to 21, up down only 12,000. I was like, okay, I think you're okay. And then right here I was like, nope, I got to cut it. So I cut it on, I think it was this candle right here, or maybe it was this one. And, all of a sudden it just became a really big loss. And this is one of those things that you have to be so careful about when you're trading stocks like this that are kind of just like grinding higher. And this can happen in small caps as much as it can happen in large caps, that it just kind of keeps grinding higher. And it's not like, it's moving, but it's just kind of keeps going a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. It pulls back for a second, then it goes a little higher. And it's so easy to stare at it and not want to cut that loss because you're looking at it and you're thinking, this thing, it's due for a pullback. It should roll over here. It should pull back here. And then it just keeps not pulling back. It keeps, it just sort of continues to go higher. And so I cut it there and it ended up, it's up here at 2025. So, I'm red 16,000 and I could try to make back some of those losses, but I'm kind of just I'm not interested in doing that right now. I'm feeling a little frustrated. I feel like this is kind of a little bit of a, it's a big loss. It's a big loss. It's a little setback. It's a red day, and it's a little discouraging. And to make back 16,000, the market would have to be really, we would have to see some really good momentum in small caps, and we're not seeing that. And I don't want to flip-flop. I could have gotten, covered short and gone long, but that's flip-flopping. It's usually not a good idea. So I didn't do that. I don't know. I think that this is just an example of, for me, certainly one of the challenges and one of the risks with short selling, that a lot of times when I short something that's strong, I don't want to cut it because I'm like, it's due to pull back. This has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 green candles in a row. And that's after this big push here. This is like, is it extended? Yeah, it's gone from 495 to 528. It's up 7% on the day. But realistically, the next resistance is until 535. And so, it is what it is. I at least have my 465 put, which should expire worthless. But even from the swing trade perspective, I stopped out on the call spread, and I can't really do a put spread on it right now because the put spread is too cheap. If I tried to switch and do another call spread at like 550 or 560, I'm just doing the same thing I just got stopped out on, and it's so strong. After a big green day like this, tomorrow we could see a gap up and then a pullback, or gap up and continuation. You look back at Tesla for reference, and once we started to get into this, back towards the highs, it just really opened up fast. So I don't know. I feel a little frustrated myself. And this morning I was giving you guys kind of a pep talk on, the frustration of being in the red and having had a big loss, and how much I can relate to that. And even though I'm in a really good place, obviously, on the year and on the month, I'm upset in my TD Ameritrade account that I had a good size loss on Friday on Tesla, and now today, I've got open P&L, but I've closed. I've got my P&L on the day, which is red, and I'm feeling a little frustrated that kind of across the board today I'm struggling, and it's definitely a good moment to kind of step back and say, all right, well, where did you go wrong today? And the swing trades on the large caps are great, but sometimes the problem is they encourage me to start day trading them because I see an opportunity. So up here on Tesla, I was kind of watching this for the trade through 2115, and I didn't take it. Ended up going up 5-6 points, and that's a real challenge for me at least. Maybe others, and maybe I'll get better at it. But right now it's a challenge because I'm only looking at some of these because I'm wanting to swing trade them. But then I'm like, hey, that's actually a really nice intraday chart pattern. I had a nice trade on Netflix. I don't remember what day it was. Let's see, where was it? I don't remember. It was like a week ago or something. But it was right here. I took a trade through 394, and we got a nice $1 share breakout. That was a nice trade. I mean, you could have day traded that. And here there were definitely day trade opportunities on Netflix. I took the short side too soon, and maybe I should have been saying, well, we actually, you're short at 118. Even though it kind of looked like a reversal right here, it did. It had broken through this daily resistance of 510, and above that, no resistance till 535. So maybe I should have focused on that a little bit more. But it's it's a frustrating thing, certainly, to have a big loss or whatever the case is. And so for me, to lose $23,000, it's one thing to lose that on a trade that had the potential to make me 30 or 40,000, but this isn't a stock. I mean, I was short at 118. I was trying to cover for 4,000 in profit. So I ended up taking a much bigger loss versus the profit potential. And I really did just sit and kind of stare as it was going higher, just feeling like I don't want to get out while it's still squeezing up. Because that's what we kind of call capitulation. It's when you throw in the towel. And we see stocks, and usually I try to be long a stock experiencing that, when you get that final squeeze. And it always pulls back after that final squeeze. So whenever you're in it and you are on the losing side of that type of trade, I mean, at least in my experience, I feel like an idiot. I just feel so frustrated with myself. I'm just like, man, you got to be kidding me. You stopped out right at the top, and then it rolled over. And honestly, this is very extended. So I was kind of looking for a rollover back down to the volume weighted average price, but it's going higher. And the chart rules. You can think it's extended, you can think it's crazy, it's due for a pullback, but this type of area, as it just squeezes and then just keeps going higher and higher and higher, pauses for a moment, then keeps going. And of course, on this price range, I think part of the deer in the headlights is that the spreads. All of a sudden, in a moment, it jumps up to, you're down 30 cents, 40 cents, $1, $1.50, $1.80, $2.20, $2.60, $2.80 a share. I mean, you're not talking about pennies. It's really jumping fast against you. So I guess, again, I think that this is one of the real challenges of trading to the short side for me, is that when it starts going against me, I don't want to cover, because the higher it goes, the higher they go, the more they drop when they finally reverse. And I don't want to give up at the top only, if I'd given up like right here, only 2 seconds later to watch it go and pull back. So I tried to give it a chance, but even right here, topping tail, red candle, I was like, okay. So I had a little bit of suffering here from 518 up to 522, but now I'm back in the driver's seat. Boom, right back up into the highs, and again right here. So It's just the way it is. And it's not, I mean, in terms of technical analysis, you'll see patterns similar both in large caps and small caps. And it is one of the reasons that short selling is so risky, because as it keeps going higher, you keep thinking, this is, I mean, yeah, I'm already holding it short and I'm red, but this is even a better time to go short because it's up even higher. So that's when you start adding. Now, I only added 1,000 shares at 20. I didn't go crazy deep in it to add as it went higher, but I kind of gave it that one last attempt, and then as it ripped up here, I was just like, oh my God, this is not good. So, a good lesson there. A disappointing trade, disappointing day, I suppose, overall. I could have walked away up $6,000 today, and yeah, maybe taken a little loss on a Netflix swing trade, but this could have been a really nice day, and I screwed it up. I overstayed my welcome. I got too aggressive trying to do a trade that honestly, it's a reversal trade. I mean, these ones never are big winners, and when you get them, when you're going the wrong way and you short something too soon, they can be big losers. So the profit-loss ratio that's not usually as great. So I'm a little discouraged, but it's Wednesday, so yesterday I made 10,000, so today I'm giving back everything I made yesterday. I was up 46,000 on Monday, so now I'm up only 40,000 on the week. So another red day here. I think last week, let me look at the calendar. So last week I was red on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were, kind of choppy. So, yeah, I mean, and Monday was good, Tuesday wasn't great, today wasn't great. And, hey, 6,500 would have been fine, but I decided to go and jump into the large cap, shorting a strong, tech stock. So that was not a good decision, and that's the loss that I get for it. So down 16,000 on the day. That's going to take it's going to take a little while to recover from that. I mean, if tomorrow is slow, I might only make 5,000. Thursday, Friday, if they're both slow, I might not make back this loss, the $22,000 that I just lost. I might not make it back this week. I might have to carry that into next week. But on the other hand, that's not really the right attitude. You don't want to try to carry that burden of I need to make it back, whatever. You got to set it aside. You got to let it be. Whether it's 16,000, whether it's 160,000, whatever it is, you do just have to let it be and say, all right, this is it's a loss, and the only way to start digging back is one trade at a time. All things considered, and keeping things relative, I feel really, really grateful. Number one, that I'm still green on the week and green on the month. And number two, that, I kind of get this upset over a loss on the day as small as 16,000, because, I know for a fact there's traders out there that on red days are losing 50, 75, 100,000, 200,000. I mean, they're having some really brutal red days. And even without having green days bigger than mine, it's just, but I set a kind of standard for myself, and I do get upset when I fall short on it. So, yeah, this is my fourth red day of the month, and I usually allocate 4 red days a month, 1 red day a week kind of thing. So I had 2 back-to-back red days 2 weeks ago. Last week I had a big red day on Monday, and now I've got a $16,000 red day today, which again, if I really wanted to try to, dig out of the hole, FLDM, if I really wanted to try to dig out of the hole, I could, breaking over VWAP, I could jump in this or something else, but I'm not, the odds of me making, back 16,000 at this time of day, it's 11:30, we're coming into the lunch hour. This is not really a good time of day to be trying to swing for a big winner like that. So I'm thinking that's unlikely. My Amazon trade, that one. So you can see this is where I'm at right now, up 3,000 in open P&L, down 1,200 in P&L on the day. So Netflix is kind of a bummer because I had a good trade, but then I kind of got a little aggressive trying to take a trade like at the spot where I took it. Amazon is okay. Apple is fine. So, whatever. I'll keep with these, but those are swing trades, and it's just one of those things that when you start kind of getting in, like with Netflix, trying to take a swing trade early in the day, you do have to watch it more closely because early in the day you've still got a lot of risk that it could, go the other way. So swing trades are based on daily patterns, but a daily candle doesn't close till 4 p.m. So if you initiate a swing trade at 9:45, you have to be watching it during the day to make sure the chart continues to go your direction, which can be good because then going into the close, you can already be green on the day. But on the other hand, like today on Netflix, sometimes you're going to end up sort of going red you end up being like, wow, I have to close this it's a swing trade and I've got to close it as a day trade because it's already going against me. And when that happens, that is discouraging. So that's what happened today. And it happened another day, I can't remember when. But on the other hand, the trades that I took going into the close yesterday on Amazon and Apple, those are both going in the right direction. So Amazon's actually really going in the right direction, 4,400. So again, it's kind of like feels like aside from the fact because it's a swing trade account and it doesn't really, I'm up if I'm red just in my swing trade account, I'm upset. If I'm red just in my day trade account, I'm upset. Even if I'm green in the other one, it's like these accounts stand on their own. They have to stand on their own. If I'm always red in my swing account, then it doesn't stand on its own. I've got to be generally green on both sides to feel like good. So again, I hope that this is helpful for some of you guys. And a lot of the feedback that I've continued to get over the years is that Red Day recaps are some of the more helpful recaps. So I hope this is helpful. I'm not happy about today. This is a bit discouraging for me, but it's part of the deal, obviously, with trading that we all know red days are going to happen from time to time. I mean, that's unavoidable. So it's just at times it can feel like a little punch in the stomach, like, oh man, that one hurt. That one I got a little sloppy on. I wish I could press the rewind button and go back to just before I took 5,000 shares of Netflix and it had a $2.5 million day trade in it. Relative to $2.5 million in the trade, losing 22 grand is not bad, I guess. But it is not what I was hoping for today. So live to trade another day and, coming back at it tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day. And that's kind of one of the things is, even though tomorrow there'll be a part of me that will know that I had a red day yesterday, a previous day, there'll be another part of me that is really excited to sit down, excited to look for new opportunities, excited for the possibility of some really nice momentum. And, that's kind of the fun thing about trading is just this, I guess, internal, eternal sort of optimism that, it's like, We're already facing an uphill battle. We know that. Day trading is hard. Most people lose money. But there's a chance. There's hope. And I have that Banksy canvas over my desk at work. There's always hope with the girl with the balloon. And I've had that since around 2010 or 2012. So I've actually had that for quite a long time, and it is that kind of ever reminder to me of trying to be hopeful. And we do often say, don't trade on hope, which is just in the sense that it's good to be optimistic, but not delusional. You don't want to just. I could be still holding Netflix, hoping it reverses. you have to follow the rules of your strategy, but I think the kind of optimism and hope is, hopeful for strong markets, things that are really out of our control. Hopeful for me being able to be more disciplined in the future, me being able to become a better and better trader. I think those are the areas where being hopeful is good. I think that in those areas it's totally appropriate. So I'm hopeful that this is a good lesson for me and for you, and that I'll be able to be a little more careful the next time I'm looking at a large cap stock ripping up and thinking about shorting it. I don't short small caps for the same reason, but it's just that also I don't have shares available to borrow. If I had shares available to borrow of every small cap, you'd probably see me shorting it more, because what the heck, I have shares available. But I don't have shares available of small caps. So every now and then I'll see a large cap and I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to go for it. And those ones can, those ones can sometimes get me in trouble, as you see here. So I don't know. We'll see. That's the nice thing, I guess, when I do trade in my retirement account over here. I can't short in this account, but I've been trading in the margin account, which gives me more leverage and has allowed me to be a little bit more aggressive and as a result, more profitable this year. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Sometimes that is the way it goes, but keep your head up for those of you guys that are maybe in a similar position that I happen to be in today, which is you're red or you're frustrated, and you got to just try to leave that at the door when you come in tomorrow and trade the market that we have right in front of us. And so looking at the other trades, Works, this one I did fine on. Again, not a home run, but I did fine on Works. We had some nice opportunities. I did okay on it. Gap and go setup. Jan squeezed up, got halted, a little resumption trade. FLDM, a couple little trades in that. Nothing crazy. BFRA had kind of sloppy trades long, and then it halted going down, did dip off the low, lost on that one. I did something kind of weird where I was in it and I actually put an order to buy at 13.25, and then I realized that because initially I thought it was going to add to this halt gap higher, so I was like, I'm going to try to buy the dip, around whatever it was, 13 something. And then when it looked like it was not going to open as a big gap, I canceled the order. But then it looked to me like the order didn't cancel, and it was like right at the second we were about to resume, and I was pressing Control Q, and then I pressed Control Z, not trying to sell, just trying to cancel my orders. I don't know what happened, but ended up selling on resumption, which ended up being a good move because it halted going down, and then doing a dip trade on the resumption, which I lost on. So it wasn't perfect by any means, but it's kind of a bummer on this one too, because we had earnings on it, and these other days it made huge moves, but I wasn't able to really capitalize on them. So I tried today and I still couldn't do it. But that's the sore thumb here for today. That's that big, that's the one that's gonna linger with me. So that's okay. I'll be all right. Netflix continues to go stronger. Again, at least I have my puts. Although, what's interesting on the puts that I sold is that they've actually gone up in price. So I sold them at $1.68. They hit a low today at 20 cents, and they're at 22 cents now. So implied volatility increasing a little bit. The value of those puts are actually going up 2 cents. But so, I sold them at $1.68. They're at 22 cents now. I'm in pretty good shape on those. But yeah, that's a little tricky. So I don't know. It's tough because, from the swing trade perspective, regardless of, I'm not going to make back 22,000 on a swing trade. So and I'm not going to try to short it again. 535 is that a daily resistance level, yes, that would be a W pattern here and a double top. So, potentially there could be another opportunity to sell a credit spread on it. The only problem is that this could, depending on how it closes, it could gap higher, and then it could retest 550, 560. So sometimes after a big loss, the best thing to do is just to walk away. Yeah, just because the impulse, it just starts getting sloppy. Now you're trading from a place of desperation, maybe even without realizing it. I mean, now it's trying to compensate. I'm upset I'm red here, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just pull the trigger. It's not hard. That's a good point. So I find that once I'm red, I can trade, I can just super over trade because I'm already red. What the heck, right? Who cares? I'm already red. It's when you've kind of broken the ice with a big loser, then I'm already finishing the day feeling bad about myself. So what's the difference between being down 16 and being down 20? I'm already red. Who cares? And that's where it can get dangerous, because then that's when you are no longer, you're taking a $2,000 loss here, a $3,000 loss there. And next thing you know, you are down 18, 20, 24, 30 grand potentially on the day. I mean, just in theory. It could start to snowball because you no longer have the same pain with each additional loss. But what you have to gain from each additional risk is the possibility of no longer feeling bad about yourself if you're able to make back all of the losses. And so it's kind of an interesting thing with risk aversion, that I feel like I can be really risk adverse until I've incurred some loss, and then I can start taking a lot of risk because, well, what the heck, I'm already in this situation. And so if you're in that situation and maybe you're feeling that way, not on an intraday time frame, but on a 1 month time frame, I'm already right on the month, so what the heck. I think that's the spot where you have to be really, really mindful of being more careful, of respecting the place that you're at, and really trying not to force things, just to each day focus on good quality setups. And maybe perhaps staying more within your wheelhouse, which is what I ended up doing, or what I ended up having a problem with today, is I went a little outside my wheelhouse on a day that I didn't really have the cushion to do it. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Whether or not I take any more trades today, I'll come back probably around 3 to 4 o'clock to look for swing trades, and I'll see what some of these stocks look like. Netflix is currently up, what percent? 8%. So that's ripping. Amazon is moving higher, but the way I did my swing trade, that's working well, so I'm fine with that. And yeah, I'm just gonna hope that we see some maybe better opportunities, I don't know, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. You never know when you're gonna get a 200-300% momentum stock. It can come out of nowhere, but we didn't really have one today. So today was sort of just trying to make the best of what we had and making a little bit of a mistake. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will see you back here first thing tomorrow morning.
And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.